Hello, everyone. It is January 13th, 2022, and this is the Backdrop Weekly Developer Call. We get together every week to talk about the latest priorities and happenings in Backdrop Core and other peripheral things. So, Backdrop 121 comes out day after tomorrow, so that's going to be our big topic for today. What kinds of things we still have yet to do, and the things that we've gotten done in the past week or so. We'll get some quick introductions to kick off. My name is Nate Lampton. I'm Quick Sketch on the internet, a core committer, and I am coming from Oakland, California. Let's go to Tim and then to Robert.
Hi, my name is Tim Erickson. I'm St. Paul Tim on the internet. I'm in Deerwood, Minnesota. And that's it.
Thanks, Tim. Robert and then Jen.
I'm Robert Lang, bug folder on the internet, coming to you from Altadena, California.
Great. Jen and then Wilbur.
I'm Jen Lampton, joining from Oakland, California.
Wilbur and then Joseph.
My name's Wilbur Entz, and I'm coming from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Great. Joseph and then finally BW Panda.
Hi, I'm Joseph. I'm a backend developer from Las Vegas, Nevada.
All right, and finally BW Panda.
Peter, BW Panda from Australia.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Let's see. Before we get deep into the agenda, let's do the contributed project and community update. Jen, do you want to give us the rundown?
Sure. So we have 4 new modules this week. Site alert, use calc distinct, and rename admin paths. I guess that's 3.
Excellent. Excellent. Rename admin paths. Interesting. These things that I don't think are possible, people do. Okay, great. So let's see, we have a forum post from forum.backdropcms.org. It's posted every week for people to accumulate any points of discussion. If they think of something that they'd like us to discuss during these meetings, they can post a comment on that forum post. The item raised today, one of them has already been discussed in the previous meeting, disabling comments across an entire content type. That was in the UX meeting. The only other topic that was raised was by IndigoZella, which is PHP 8.1 support. That's issue 5398. So we already have this issue to track it. Gregory opened it about a month ago. And IndigoZella has been doing a lot of work getting this up to speed. As far as I can tell, the pull request is completely working and is ready for full review. I don't think that she or Gregory have flagged any things as like, this looks like it's almost done except for X or Y. It looks to me like they're saying everything should be ready to go. So that's pretty exciting. Issue 3879 could use some analysis. I'm not totally sure how safe this is. It's another thing, I guess, that needs to be evaluated. If this looks safe for us to do as soon as possible, looks pretty safe just taking a look at it initially. We could still get that in even though the release is day after tomorrow. I might feel a little bit more comfortable waiting on it if it turns out that it's possibly risky. But anyway, it looks like this is a great item for us to take a look at. 5398. It's not in a milestone yet, so it needs to simply be found. All right. Let's see. I've got the item in here about PHPCS. I think that this has been stalled, yes, for a while now. Issue 52, 45. Be great if we can get some focus back on that at some point. Could help with our code reviewing process quite a bit, having automated code checks. It's issue 52, 45, but there's no updates there. Uh, Tim, I think you might have just put something in the agenda here about office hours. You want to say a word or two about that?
Oh, Wilbur could. I just wanted to remind everybody that they're happening. Wilbur, do you want to say anything?
That's just been my commitment to the project to shepherd that every week and make sure it gets scheduled and announced. And sooner or later, people are going to start showing up. I know it.
We've had people every week.
No,
There's at least
that's too self-deprecating. People have been showing up, and I'm gonna keep that on the schedule for the next quarter, and then we'll keep it on the schedule for the next quarter after that.
Thank you, Wilbur. Yeah, it's funny because Wednesdays are typically one of my most productive days for doing backdrop. But I'm not in the habit of joining in the meeting. I just do it quietly.
All by yourself?
But yeah, I'd like to personally start leveraging that opportunity that's been put forward more frequently.
Tim has volunteered to bring cookies, so if you fix an issue, you get a cookie.
Ooh. Are these browser cookies?
Excellent.
Except BW Panda, who is not allowed to have cookies.
Is that why? Don't know.
Addiction. Let's just leave it at that.
Or Indigo Zala, who is aggressively removing browser cookies, at least from Backdrop, because one of the changes that we got in just recently was the removal of the show hide columns, show hide weights cookie. So that's like the only front end cookie that Backdrop tends to set. And that cookie has been removed and replaced with
Always
local
hated that
storage.
cookie.
Yeah. Yeah, I really don't like show hide table weights in the first place, but it's nice that it is now no longer causing like deprecated cookie will not work warnings in your browser. So great enhancement. Okay, let's see. We have 121, as I mentioned, comes out day after tomorrow. I don't really have a lot to say about items that we're still working on, other than we made a lot of progress in the past week. I think we've gotten in like around 15 issues or so. We're really working through the what is this? Sorry, the 1.20.4 milestone is where a lot of the high priority bug fixes are going. Let's check out that milestone real quick. There are currently 32 open issues still in that milestone, but there are 22 closed issues in that milestone because we've been making a lot of progress there recently. Also, the RTBC list is still got quite a few items in it. I think it is 13 items in the RTBC queue, so we're continuing to work through those. We are trying to be a little bit more conservative right now, considering our testing window of people working on the latest version of Core is getting really, really short. But any of these fixes that are well tested and have a low chance of a negative impact, we're going to continue getting these changes in as they become ready. It's very exciting. Lots and lots of things. One that gets a special call out, I think, is this issue 4441, removing all instances of blacklist and whitelist from core. This is going into 1.21 only, actually, because it does have some minor impacts. Jen, you were a big part of this issue. Would you be able to talk a little bit more about it?
Sure. So there are a couple of issues for Backdrop Core. There's this one, and then there's another one about removing master-slave terminology that are just there's a lot of words that we use in the tech world that we've been using for a long time without thinking about implications of them and how they might make some people feel. And gives us a chance to sort of wipe this slate clean and replace words with more accurate descriptions of what they do. So whitelist has been replaced with allow list when it's used as a noun, and allow as a verb. And blacklist has been replaced with deny list or deny when it's used in core. So just some cleanup there on old stuff that has just been around for forever, and gives us a chance to do better now that we're aware of it.
Does this have any compatibility concerns?
I don't think so. There is a function, there's a Drupal function that was, I forget which one it was. It was something like Drupal check whitelist or something like that, where we now have a couple of, there's like another backwards compatible wrapper in there, I think. And then we have one place in core where we had a setting that was set in the settings file that we had to check for both the old setting and the new setting to make sure that if there was an old setting with a whitelist name, we were maintaining that name. So there's a couple of places where we haven't completely gotten rid of it in order to keep the backwards compatibility in, but there's remove in 2.0 marked on there so that we can get rid of those at the next major version.
Cool. Very cool. Interesting. Also kind of interesting, allow list and what is it? Allow list and block
Deny
list.
list.
Deny list.
Deny list. We decided not to use block because block has a specific meaning for user accounts, and so we thought it would be good to use something that didn't already have a meaning in Drupal and Backdrop.
Yeah, deny list also is a little easier to say, in my opinion. But allow list is a la 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 la, you know. But there you go. Interesting that those are also kind of looks like they're kind of coming into use as words, like a allow list as one single word as opposed to something that's hyphenated or two separate words. Kind of an interesting development in the English language. Very cool. Let's see. I don't have any other things to talk about as far as 121 is concerned. Though I'm trying to see if there's anything else of note that we should bring up. I'm not seeing anything right away. I think just generally speaking, yeah, we'll just say it again that our focus is on bug fixes. The release is in 2 days. Everything seems to be on schedule. And right now we're in a way kind of like the calm before the storm because there's a finite amount of change that we can actually implement. And our focus right now is on the release. 1.22, sorry, our numbers are getting so big. Yeah, 1.22, the release that will be coming out after this one. We'll start working on planning meetings and road mapping after this release. I think our road mapping usually happens 2 weeks after, so around the start of February. It looks like maybe February 3rd would be the likely start of our road mapping sessions. I don't have anything else to really cover today. It seems odd. I've only been talking for 10 minutes. Go ahead, Tim.
So often at this stage in the cycle, I'm trying to figure out what we can still squeeze in. But at this release cycle, I just feel like there's so much that's already went in that I'm just rooting for what's already there in the queue that needs to be reviewed. But what I wanted to raise was we talked a little bit about this in the outreach meeting. The release in 2 days is an outreach PR opportunity. It's also our birthday. And we were throwing around ideas 2 weeks ago about what we might do even if it's just something that's, we talked about having a live event, but that's actually hard because everybody's in different time frames. Plus it's release day, so we're busy. But is there anything we can do social media wise? And I'd like to take one more stab. If anybody thought of anything since last week, I could help facilitate that. I don't know, the only, I threw out the idea like to ask people to send us screenshots or something of their backdrop sites on our birthday, but I'm not excited. I'm not that excited about that. I'd like a better idea, but I might do that one unless people object if we can't come up with anything better. Is there something we could do to just sort of maybe generate some buzz around the release and around the birthday? No ideas? Come on, guys.
I know that there are some high profile sites that are switching to backdrop soon-ish and are starting PR around that process. I don't know if they're going to be ready to make those announcements on the 15th, but I might reach out and find out if that's possible, because that could be good too. Have it sort of all coordinate the release and the birthday and everything.
Just in terms of brainstorming, we could try to, come up with 10 or 15 testimonials and release them 1 hour all day or something, just short snippets. We might be able to find them on maybe that would be another thing to do on our birthday. Hopefully we could, that would encourage other people to do their own. But if nothing else, we could get 10 or 15 of our own sort of, here's what I love about backdrop.
We could make requests for fan art. We could. I mean, this is less technical. We could ask people about to post their favorite dragon-related story, or post dragon-themed birthday cakes.
I gotta get bacon. I gotta get my cookies made by I almost forgot.
Oh yeah, they don't need to actually be made by people. That would be a nice bonus if people actually made them. But I think Google image search and like just posting images is also good enough.
Sure. Okay. Well, thanks. We still got 48 hours.
Well,
if
thanks,
anybody,
guys. That was
ping me on Zula. I mean, I like your idea, the direction your ideas are going, Nate. But they're not. I don't know. I'm not.
Yeah, they're not on brand necessarily, or not. They're fun.
Well, I like dragon-related stories or fan art. I just think might be too much work quickly. Like to say you come up with something in 48 hours, maybe. But I like the playfulness of them and just sort of the funness of them. I'm just not sure how to implement them this quickly. So,
Cool.
Well, if I do
Another
something
thing I
like
was thinking,
go ahead.
I was just thinking another thing we could do is, because Drupal 7 end of life is coming up, we can ask people who have backdrop sites for screenshots, but we could also ask people who don't yet have backdrop sites if they're thinking of moving to backdrop, and sort of like prompt people and be like, hey, today's backdrop 7th birthday. Who's going to be adopting backdrop this year? Could be something that could be interesting too, just to get people thinking about it.
Oh yeah, I like that idea. Like, hey, it's Happy New Year. What backdrop sites are you planning on upgrading or launching this year? That'd be kind of fun.
Sure.
So yeah, that way we could solicit like links to Drupal 7 sites, or people are doing new sites or what have you, in addition to screenshots of existing sites. I don't know. We could use a couple of those ideas. Like, show us your current sites, show us your coming soon sites, describe, I don't know, something like that.
So here's the key. If we do something like that, though, I prefer that it not completely flop. So we should just try to get, if we can at least get our community to if you don't usually watch Twitter, please tune into Twitter once or twice that day.
Oh yeah.
Like or post something so that we have a little bit of activity. And hopefully that'll generate more. Sometimes you just got to get the wheel rolling. So
yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I like those ideas. Good ideas.
All right. Any other topics? I scroll down to the bottom of our agenda and I see we have the initiatives down there at the very bottom that you don't normally scroll down to because most of ours has come to a wrap. But telemetry is down there, uh, and it might be worth mentioning telemetry things that are happening because that's affecting the release somewhat. Telemetry module got enabled in 1.21. The release that will be downloaded out of the box. Doesn't affect existing sites still. Um, but we're having funny repercussions from doing that. That telemetry, because it's now turned on, is being turned on demo sandboxes when you spin them up on backdropcms.org. They're being turned on sandboxes when you get a pull request sandbox. And they're also it's also turned on when we run the tests, all of which is causing a lot of artificial inflation in the telemetry data. So we've been working to solve those problems. Doc Wilmot filed a pull request to disable it in sandboxes, and then Gregory and Gozella worked together to disable it during test runs based on the work that Doc Wilmot did to disable it in sandboxes. So we're closing in on fixing those the skewing of data problems there. Both of those changes are already merged, and I think telemetry data only persists for about 24 hours. So we're hoping by tomorrow our telemetry data will come back down to uh, real levels again. Oh, and we also added web server as another tracking data point. So now we're collecting 4 pieces of data, which I know we still have a lot of other things that we could potentially be collecting, but now it's web server, operating system, PHP version, and database version, MySQL version. So still lots more to collect, but yeah, definitely moving along. All right, then. I don't think there's anything else for this week, so maybe we'll call it a meeting. Thanks again, everyone, for all of the great work. There's a lot of momentum, a lot of great things happening. I'm hoping, just maybe, this is speaking for myself, that maybe we'll be able to keep momentum after the release too. That would because we've got so much going right now. I kind of feel like there's going to be, at the very least, a little long tail here of things that we just will need to keep wrapping up post release as well. So that's it. Thanks, folks, for being here today, and thanks to those people that are out there that watch these meetings, and thanks everyone for all of their hard work on Backdrop this week and always.